What do y'all think of a burrito bowl? I love them. I'm going to show you how I put this together as a meal in a jar. And y'all, oh my goodness, it is fantastic. If y'all have tried my recipes, you know I don't do bland. I don't like bland. That's just a waste of my calories and time. This is not bland. This is bursting with flavor. It's a twist on my Mexican rice recipe that I already have up on my channel, and I'm adding the beef dices, which are like little steak bites, for a beef fajita burrito bowl. Hey y'all, I'm Kareth. Welcome to the Freeze-Dried Foodie. Burrito bowls are something I enjoy ordering at the restaurant Chipotle, and I always get them with the rice, black beans, and that fresh corn salsa. So for today's recipe, I've included those ingredients in the Mexican rice. I'll link my original Mexican rice recipe in the show notes in case you want to check that one out too. Now I like keeping the protein separate and then topping the rice with the beef dices like they do at the restaurant. But you could definitely change out the meat here, and you could use chicken slices or the grilled chicken dices. The pulled pork is actually wonderful in a burrito bowl, but you just have to be super careful how you store it. So let me show you how I put this meal in a jar together. I start with a quart-sized jar to get about 4 servings out of this meal. And into the bottom of the jar, I'm putting 1 cup of uncooked rice. I think that's basmati rice that I used today. Now I'm using our instant black beans as well as our sweet corn. And then I've got both red and green bell peppers because I like them both. Those green chilies will add a really nice flavor. I've got 2 types of onions today. I'm using our chopped onions and the Litehouse brand of freeze-dried red onions. That tomato powder is going to give this rice really nice flavor. And then I've got some seasonings. I've got some chicken bouillon, cilantro, cumin, and the Goya brand of adobo seasoning. If you don't have that, you could just substitute some garlic powder, salt and pepper, turmeric, that kind of thing. I like to put the protein in the baggie to keep it separate, so that's why I'm putting the sandwich baggie in the jar here, just to make it a little bit easier to fill. I will cook the meat separately. I'll prepare it separately and then top the rice bowl with it. So in go the beef dices. I actually didn't have a cup and a half of beef dices. I ran out. That was just the bottom of my can. So I only have about half of that amount in there. But those are the spices that you'll include. Those seasonings will give your steak bites great flavor. You can go ahead and seal up that baggie and then include an oxygen absorber. And I forgot the True Lime packets, but I do add them later on in the video. Of course, if you don't like the lime, just leave that out. So isn't that a lovely jar? I just love the layers here. And this is the jar that you could store on your pantry shelf. And if this is the kind of thing that you like, then go ahead and make up a couple jars at a time and have them on your shelf ready and waiting for you. Don't forget to label your jars and put your cooking instructions with it. When you're ready to prepare this dish, you'll just get out a couple of pans, a small pan for the beef dices, and then a medium to large size pan for the rice. Go ahead and remove that bag of beef dices, and you're gonna get that into the small pan and add about 1.5 cups of water. Now, I didn't have that much beef, so I didn't add that much water. But if you have the full 1.5 cups of beef dices, then you'll need about 1.5 cups of water. You're going to want to stir that, get some heat on there, and bring it to a gentle boil. In the second pan, go ahead and turn your heat on, and then you're going to add just a couple of tablespoons of some sort of neutral flavored oil. I used avocado oil. Heat that up a little bit and then add your jar of rice to it. What you're wanting to do here is toast those spices. Those are fat soluble spices and they really wake up. The flavor just wakes up whenever they hit heat and fat. You'll toast these spices, and also you're going to coat all of those grains of rice in that oil. And it's just going to bring out better flavor in your dish. It really does improve the flavor of the rice if you take that extra step and do that. Give those beef dices a stir, and you'll want to simmer those for about 15 minutes or so. Now, after about 2 minutes, not much more, of toasting those rice grains and those seasonings, you need to go ahead and add your water because you don't want to burn anything. Those are freeze-dried ingredients and they will burn. So go ahead and add about 2 3/4 cups of water. And you'll just kind of go back and forth every once in a while, stir your beef, stir your rice. But once you bring that rice to a boil, then stir it one more time and then cover it. So you want to get a lid on that and then leave it alone. Turn the temperature all the way down to low and leave it alone for 20 minutes. Meanwhile, after about 15 minutes or so of cook time on your beef dices, you'll want to just taste it and see if it's tender. Mine was tender, and so I had just a little bit of liquid still left in the bottom of my pan, and I cranked up my heat because I wanted to boil that liquid off. It'll boil off pretty quickly. Conversely, if it wasn't tender, you'll add more liquid and let it cook until it is tender. But mine was tender, so I went ahead and cooked off the excess liquid and then added a tablespoon of butter to those steak bites, and then I gave it a stir and it melts really quickly. I coated those steak bites in the butter and then I just turned off the heat. They are ready at that point. I turned off the heat and covered them to stay hot. All right, after 20 minutes of cooking on low, your rice should be completely done. It should be nice and tender, and you can give it a stir to fluff it up. Here are those True Line packets that I had forgot to put in that jar, but I added 2 packets. That was just the right amount for me. Of course, this is up to you. Do what your taste buds desire. You can leave that out. You can add more. It's completely up to you. But after you stir that in, do give it a taste and adjust your seasonings. I added some salt to my rice. All right, now it's ready to serve up. And this is how I like to do it. I like to put a good amount of rice in the bottom of the bowl and then top it with the steak bites. You can serve this with anything you like, but my favorites are avocado, sour cream, salsa, cilantro, and crunchy tortilla chips. I love this combination. This is kind of how I like to do it at Chipotle as well. Isn't it beautiful? All those bright colors. It's so pretty. I just think this turned out amazing. And y'all, the taste is so good. I think you're really gonna like this one. I enjoy the creaminess of the black beans, the corn. Okay, it is crunchy and sweet, and that pop of sweetness from the corn in there is so good. The beef dices are actually very tender, full of flavor, and really yummy with that little coating of butter on there. I thought I'd take a picture of what it looked like when I actually went to eat this burrito bowl. I put more of everything on it. I got more chips. I put more sour cream, more salsa, and I kind of just mixed it all up together. And that was one delicious lunch, I tell you. Okay, guys, thank y'all so much for watching. I will include the full recipe down in the description box below, as well as my shopping link. I do sell Thrive Life foods, the foods that are featured in my videos. So if you click on my shopping link and you purchase through my link, I earn a small commission at no extra charge to you. So I do appreciate it when you do that for me. Okay, guys, I pray y'all have a blessed day. And until next time, y'all take care and keep thriving.